Welcome to Psychedelic Coach, everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain a little bit about how you can journal for ADHD management, for anxiety, for depression, for spiritual development as well. And so I do this online, although you could do this just in a notebook. But what I do is I do a journal that is more about like recording my routine, and so I have in the past just used an Excel spreadsheet for this, but I've recently moved over to a website that I built myself in order to help me to do this um, more sort of consistently and with a bit more sort of customization. But just to show you what I've been doing and how I journal, I every day for 66 days specifically. The reason why it's 66 days is because some neuroscientists the um, point to research that cites that neurology, like hardwire, the physical neurology in your brain, um, takes 66 days to be created and hardened. So at the end of 66 days, it's hardwired. And so if you're trying to create new habits or work on bettering your current habits or just improving yourself um, in that way, then it can be very good to not do that over like 1 week or 2 weeks, but do it over 66 days. It's a really good amount of time because one, I think they're correct um, about it hardwiring the neurology, and two, it gives you lots of time to sort of fail and then get back on the wagon and sort of really understand yourself better. So what I do over 66 days is every day I come and I fill out one of these sheets, right? One of these. One of these spreadsheets. So you can see down here, I've filled out a whole bunch of them. And every sheet is basically the same. It's got my daily schedule on it. And so my morning routine all the way through to my sleep routine stuff. And then I just have a column saying whether or not I've completed it or not. Then I have uh, a bunch of information about my diet here. So, and I just sort of run through that and figure out, oh, did I fall off this diet anywhere along the way? And then I'll have a bunch of prompts. So, did I eat from my diet, my selected diet? How did I feel when I wake up? Did I have any pain today? Was it easy to fall asleep last night? These are just prompts to how did my ADHD symptoms feel? That's a big one for me. Um, so these are just prompts to sort of get me sort of writing and thinking and bringing sort of a conscious awareness to the things that I'm doing as opposed to just sort of unconsciously sort of marching through the day. And then down here, I just have another couple of prompts. These are just prompts as well, really. But I have sometimes if something is worrying me a lot, I'll just write that down here. Like if I have like a work concern or like a money concern, a financial concern, an emotional concern, a family concern, something like that, something like a big emotional thing. I might just write about that here. And then I also have another prompt, which is like what things in my life happen that throw me off all of this stuff, that throw me off my routine, that throw me off my diet, that throw me off my sleep routine, right? Because those are the things that I'm trying to pick up on and make conscious. And then, just some other notes. And the basic, I sort of started doing this because one of the ADHD symptoms that I have is kind of what I call scatterbrain, which is like just like you wake up in the morning and you start your day and you start doing one task, but then halfway through that task, you remember that you've got to do another task. And so you stop doing the first task and you start doing the second task, but then somewhere through some part way into the second task, you have like a third task that you remember that you're supposed to do, and so you stop the second task and you start doing the third task. And so this kind of inability to sort of prioritize and sort of trying to do three things at once, this is something that I experience a lot. And so I started doing this journaling as a way to sort of deal with that. And what I noticed was that um, this process of journaling started off as like, oh, let's see if I can sort of track, what I'm doing, so I don't sort of wander too far off the sort of trajectory that I'm trying to be on, and get distracted, basically. It started off like that, but then I realized that like this is a really powerful this this prompt here, what things throw me off this routine, is actually a really powerful tool for not just ADHD, but also anxiety, depression, and spiritual development. So what I noticed was that whenever I failed at doing one of these things, like if I forgot to do a morning prayer, or I forgot to do some yoga, or I forgot to work out because of my ADHD, right? Because I sort of start one thing and then I end up doing a completely other different thing. Sometimes this stuff just doesn't get done. Um, and so what I started to notice is that I became good at sort of, because you're doing this journaling daily, I became good at noticing when I didn't keep my routine, and also how I was feeling and what I was doing around the point where I sort of fell off. And it's the analysis of those things, that how you were feeling around the time that you fell off, or how, were you tired, or did you not keep your diet, or whatever. It's those things, it's analysis of those things that led me to sort of recognize the patterns and the different things which throw me off achieving what I want to achieve and doing my routine and all that. So I found that was I've started to call that process bringing the unconscious to consciousness. So having an understanding of the unconscious patterns that you have, that I have, that I assume everyone has, that the unconscious patterns which throw me off doing the things with which I want and need to do. So what I'm going to do, that was just like a little intro to journaling, and now I want to sort of show you how I journal. And what I'm going to do so I've finished the first 66 days. I finished that a few days ago. And so I'm going to do another 66-day cycle with this new template that I've made. And I'm going to record a video, ideally every day, where I just fill out these forms. And as I do this, I want to show you guys how I'm bringing the unconscious behaviors that I'm doing into the conscious. And I want to show you how this is relevant for ADHD people. I want to show you how this is relevant for reducing anxiety and depression. Um, what I found is that my anxiety and sort of depressions that I've had for as long as I can remember, they come and go. Um, those things are a lot less scary when I am confident that I can do the things that I need to do, and bringing the unconscious patterns into the conscious allows me to understand where I'm falling off, and it allows me falling off my routine, and it allows me to be more successful at doing my routine. That gives me more confidence, that reduces my anxiety, and that helps me not spiral into a depressive state. And then also, when I'm quite a spiritual person, so when you're doing spiritual development, this this concept of bringing the unconscious to the light of consciousness, this is very much related to like shadow work and um, knowing yourself better and all those kinds of things. So yeah, let's get stuck in. So I've made a sort of a new journaling format for myself, and this is available to anyone who wants to use it for free over on my website, iosgeteasy.com. You just make an account and then go to this page, which is called Phase 1 Journaling. I'll drop a link to this down below. It's free, and you can use this template to also follow along a similar structure of journaling to what I'm doing if you so desire. And so what I've done is I've broken the next 66-day phase into four phases, or the next 66-day cycle into four sub phases. And the first phase is just about observing the habits. I'm not going to overly sort of add anything new in this next sort of 5 days or so. The first 5 to 7 days, I'm just going to observe what I'm doing and make sure that I'm sort of very aware of my patterns at the moment. So, and then in later phases, we're going to sort of build a new routine. So I'm going to change this routine to be like more advanced. So if I was studying Spanish, for example, in the first 66 days, I was studying Spanish like 10, 15 minutes a day. But in the new cycle, I actually want to up that to like more like 2 hours a day or something like that. So I'm going to take all the things that I was doing and I'm going to do them even better, do them even more, do them in an improved sort of manner. And so I'm building on my progression from last month, from the last 66 days, sorry, and all the new habits that I formed over that new or over that first 66 days, and I'm moving into a new phase, and I'm going to build upon all those habits and just get better at those. So the first phase, and yeah, so the first phase is like 5 to 7 days, the first 5 to 7 days of the 66, and I'm just going to observe my current habits, behaviors, thoughts, and emotions, and I'm gonna observe them by writing them down in these forms, right, in these form fields. And what have I written there? I've written, without observation, we don't know how to change. We must first observe in this first phase, um, and in latter phases of the 66 days, we will implement changes. But for now, we just want to observe. So you can't really change a pattern of behavior unless you know your existing pattern of behavior, right? So, so the first 5 to 7 days is just sort of getting really familiar with what I'm doing currently, so that there's no unconscious behavior. I'm aware of all the things that I'm doing, feeling, and it's kind of like a catch up period where I just kind of catch up with myself and figure out how I'm feeling. And then in later stages, I'm gonna make changes, make positive changes that I want to implement. I'm going to make those changes uh, after having first observed, right? So what what the aim is to sort of more consciously move through the world, right? So what I noticed in the first 66 days is that I have a lot of, and I assume everyone does, I have a lot of unconscious behaviors that I do just sort of automatically, and bringing the in order to make those things conscious, you have to observe, right? So anyway, I've been rabbiting on for about 15 minutes now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill out this form, and the rest of this video will just be me. You're just going to watch me fill out this form. So yeah, let's get stuck in. So I'm going to say that this is my second cycle, right? There I'm referring to the cycle of 66 days, right? And we are day one of the cycle. And I'm actually going to fill this out for today. Let's just call today the first day. So it's February 10th. And yeah, enjoy while I fill out this form. I actually realized that when I started to fill this form out, I was kind of thinking about yesterday as I was filling it out, not today. So what I'm going to do is just fill out one of these forms per day, but for the day before. That means that I can thoroughly review. In this form, I can write about everything that happened yesterday, and in that way, I can just do this once a day because I don't want to be spending, you know, I don't want this to take like my whole day to do. Um, yeah, so just a note there. Okay, so that is one. Uh, that is one journal entry down, and after I saved that form, I just refreshed the page, and there's a record here of all of everything that I just wrote. So if you click that, it will just everything I just wrote is just spat out onto this page. If you want to go back and read um, what you wrote, like if you wanted to go back and in a few days' time, if you wrote something that you wanted to go back and check out, you can just you can do that. So yeah, I'll leave a link to this down below, and hopefully some of you guys will come along and join me. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Ask any questions about Christ oil cycles, or I don't know, diet, or journaling in general. Hopefully you guys can use something similar to this um, in your own lives. If if you want to do something like this, but you don't think that this form is sort of exactly the format that you want, let me know what you're interested in terms of format, and I'll see if I can bang something up for you. Because I would like to build a community around journaling and spiritual development and all these kinds of things. So yeah, leave me a comment, let me know what you think on that front, and also check out my other videos on Christ oil cycles and all of that stuff. Peace out for now. See you.